Have you ever wanted to travel abroad with your family? I have gotten a ton of emails about what we're doing here in Mexico for 5 months, so I thought I'd answer them all at once. Okay, question and answer time. First question, what program are you doing with your kids in Mexico? So we are here doing a Spanish immersion program. Our kids are in the Montessori school and they have all subjects in Spanish. So they're learning everything in Spanish. We're going to supplement my daughters with reading to her and doing math after school a little bit because it is sink or swim. They're learning a lot of language right now and getting used to hearing it. But as time goes on, they'll learn more and more and more. And there are kids that are here that are fluent in Spanish now because they've been in the program long enough. Okay, question 2. Do you or your husband already speak Spanish? And the answer to that is yes. I went on an LDS mission to Guatemala and lived there for a year and a half. I almost said it in Spanish. My brain is having a hard time going back and forth between the two languages. But yes, I do speak Spanish, and so I've been able to kind of help my kids with words and help us get around, and I'm trying to teach my husband as well. But I think to supplement that, and if you don't speak Spanish or the language, there's a really great app that I'll link to below that a lot of people here are using to learn the language. Okay, now for question number 3. How are we affording to be here in Mexico? And I've gotten a lot of different questions in different forms about this. If my husband's flying back and forth, if he's staying here, or if my blog supports us, how are we affording it? And this is a great question. So my husband has 2 different companies. One is called Brain Balance. It's a franchise. And the second is Color Me Rad. It's a 5K event where they throw color on you. It's really fun. So he coordinates all of the 5K from wherever he can coordinate it, and then he has to fly out him and his team to run the event. So he is able to work remotely from wherever, and then he also has a company, like I said, called Brain Balance, and we have an entire staff that's running that and a partner, and he does all of the financials and everything behind the scenes so we can work from wherever. So that's his deal, so he can work from wherever. No, he's not coming back and forth. He's staying out here. And then I work as well, doing these videos and with the mom conference, and that brings in some income. Truthfully, living down here in Mexico is cheaper than living in the States. And so I had another question about, did we keep our house in the States or did we sell it? So we did not sell it. We are actually renting it. So the rent from renting it there supplements our rent from here, and it's a lot cheaper to live. So honestly, to be here is a lot cheaper for us to support our family and meet our needs. And so that is how we're affording to be down here. Okay, I had another question of how old my kids are. So I have 4 kids. It's a little bit crazy and always a party around here, but my oldest is 9. My next is 6, my next is 3, and my next is 8 months. And so I kind of have the whole spectrum. We decided to come right now because my oldest, who's 9 years old, is getting older, and we didn't want to pull him out of school too old because we thought it might be really disruptive and hard to catch up if he got behind. And also, you know, as they get older, they get into more sports and friends and maybe wouldn't want to go. And so it might not be as fun if they're not thrilled to be there. So that's why we made it happen so quickly, because we thought it would be, you know, he's in 3rd grade, and so he's still young enough, and he's really ahead in school. So we felt like it would be okay to pull him out and bring him down here and do the Spanish immersion program. I got another question that's similar to that one, and that question is, do you think it'd be overly disruptive to take junior high or high school age kids to do something like this? My short answer to that is I think so. I mean, I don't know your kids. Maybe your kids are more adaptable. I know that there are not a lot. Most of the kids that are here are younger, but there are a couple older kids. And I just think it's a little bit trickier if they're really involved in sports or really involved in any extracurricular activities. So I think schooling's harder to make up and miss. And so I do think that it would be hard. Our neighbors brought their junior high aged kids down. And they said it was really hard on them. They were really unhappy and their online schooling wasn't great. They said if they were to do it again, they'd try to find a school to get them involved in so they got out of the house and so that they were able to meet people and practice the language and get involved in the community. So I think if you were to take your kids out and they're older, I would definitely look into ways to incorporate them into the community and get them involved so they don't feel isolated and so they can learn the language and the culture. But those are things to look out for. She just said that, if they were to do it again, that's what they would do, but her kids were pretty miserable. Sorry, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. But again, I don't know your family, your situation, or your kids, and so I think that's something that you can decide and weigh out all the things and see how excited your kids are about doing it. Okay, so this next question, I have gotten a ton of people asking the same question. Where are we at? We are outside of Puerto Vallarta, about 90 minutes. And the weather here is absolutely gorgeous and sunny and beautiful. And we're right by the beach, which has been so nice. We've been able to walk the kids to school, which is so dreamy. It feels less frenetic, less busy. Life feels slower, which I'm really, really enjoying. We have less, which I love. I mean, I have you'll probably see these same outfits in every single video because I only have very few things, and same with the kids, which makes laundry nicer, which makes cleaning up nicer. We've been able to have someone come clean, which has been life-changing. So yeah, we are here. Sorry, that was a lot of answers that for questions you didn't even ask, but we are outside of Puerto Vallarta, about 90 minutes. Okay, the last question, how did we find housing? So we found housing because we came down in November and met a few families that were already here. And so they knew people and they kind of put the word out. It's a really small town we're in. And so they put the word out and we were able to work with different people to find what was open. So that is how we found housing, and we made a deal for 5 months to rent here. We're looking at maybe coming back for the summer and coming back. I don't know what we're doing, but because the summer is supposed to be crazy hot and muggy and kind of terrible. So anyways, that's how we found housing. We knew somebody who knew somebody who knew somebody who knew somebody. Okay, guys, I hope that was helpful. If you've ever thought about taking your family on an extended trip abroad or about doing an immersion program, I'm always here if you have more questions. Feel free to leave a comment on this video and I will for sure answer them, or you can email me directly at desi@unconventionalkitchen.com. But I hope this serves you. I hope it inspires you to do something that you might feel like is outside of the box. I know for us, I had never dreamed that we could do something like this. And once I saw other families doing it, I realized it was possible. And then my wheels started turning about how I could create something like this for my family. So, like I said, I am here to help you out, to answer any questions. I'm by no means an expert, but I'll just tell you what I've learned and what we're doing. And I'm sure I'll learn more as we're here longer. But I just encourage you, if you have a dream, to figure out what the next step is to take action, because action displaces fear. Okay, so that wraps up the questions. I hope that I answered them all. If you have any more questions, please leave a comment or email me directly. I'd be happy to help out in any way that I can. I by no means am an expert, but I thought I'd just answer all the questions at once here. So I'll help you in any way I can. Now on to something to check out. So Ruth Sukup, do you remember her? She spoke at the Mom Conference the last 2 years, and she blogs like a boss, you guys. She is opening back up her Elite Blogger Academy, and I just wanted to let you guys know about it. You probably heard her in the last 2 years, like I said, speak. She earns over 7 figures on her blog. She's a mom. She started it all because she was spending a ton of money. It was putting financial strain on their marriage. And her husband was like, quit going to Target. And so she stopped going to Target and started budgeting. And while she was in the process of not going to Target and budgeting, she thought she'd document it on a blog because she had more time because she wasn't spending so much time shopping. So she now has worked hard and made her blog into a wild success. through lots of hard work and hustle, I should say. It doesn't just happen on its own. But she has an entire course to teach you what she did to make her blog a success. Which brings me to the freebie of the week. Ruth is offering a freebie that is the 2018 trends of blogging that you're going to see. So you can sign up to get that and kind of see what trends are coming up and what to look out for. And that might help you get a feel for if it's a great time to start a blog or not. And also maybe some tips if you already have a blog, what you can do to be on trend. Okay, that's a wrap for this week's video. I hope that helped answer some of your questions. If you have any more questions, again, feel free to leave a comment. Feel free to email me directly. I know that for me, it was helpful to be able to ask questions to the families that inspired us to come down here. So I'm here for you. We need each other. We're all in this together as mamas, and we're here to inspire each other and help each other out and grow together. So I hope that you have the best week possible. And again, feel free to reach out.